before words, before language, before civilization. A world where silence ruled everything. No songs, no melodies, no rhythm. Only the raw sounds of nature. Wind moving through trees, water flowing endlessly, and distant echoes bouncing through empty spaces. Now imagine the very first human discovering sound. A simple action. 2 stones striking together. A sharp noise breaks the silence. Then again, and again, and again. Without knowing it, that human had just created rhythm. In those early days, music did not exist as we know it today. There were no instruments, no theory, no structure, only instinct. Humans clapped their hands, stomped their feet, and tapped on surfaces, creating patterns of sound that felt natural, almost magical. Those patterns became something more. They became connection. As small groups gathered around fire, something incredible began to happen. One person created a beat. Another followed. Then another joined in. Soon, the sound was no longer individual. It became shared, a collective experience, a moment where people felt united without needing words.
This was the birth of music, not as an art, but as a feeling. As time passed, humans began to experiment. They started shaping objects to produce better sounds. Hollow logs became drums. Animal skins stretched across wood created deeper, stronger beats. And then came one of the most important discoveries, the flute. A simple hollow bone with small holes carved into it. When air passed through it, it created a soft, haunting melody. Unlike rhythm, melody carried emotion. It could feel sad, peaceful, mysterious. For the first time, sound became expressive. As civilizations grew, music evolved alongside them. In ancient Egypt, music became structured and meaningful. Harps, lyres, and early string instruments filled temples and royal courts. Music was used in ceremonies, rituals, and celebrations. It was believed to connect humans with the divine. Music had become sacred. In ancient Greece, music entered the world of thought and philosophy. Scholars believed that music could shape behavior, influence emotions, and even define character. They studied it deeply, connecting it with mathematics and patterns. Harmony was no longer accidental. It was intentional. Music became both art and science.
Then came the Roman Empire. Music grew louder, larger, and more powerful. It filled massive arenas, accompanied grand celebrations, and energized crowds. It was used to display strength, authority, and control. But as empires fell, music changed again. During the Middle Ages, music turned inward. In large stone cathedrals, voices echoed through the halls in the form of chants. Slow, steady, and deeply spiritual, these sounds created a sense of peace and connection to something greater. Music became a path to the divine. And then, a breakthrough happened. For the first time, music was written down. Symbols were carefully placed on paper, representing sounds and notes. This allowed music to be preserved, repeated, and shared across generations. Music was no longer temporary. It became timeless. As the world entered the Renaissance, creativity exploded. Art, science, and music all began to flourish together. Music became more expressive, more detailed, and more human. Multiple voices blended together, creating harmony that was richer and more complex than ever before. Instruments improved, performances became refined, and music spread beyond churches into courts and public spaces. Music was now for everyone. Then came the Baroque era.
The Baroque era, a time of drama, intensity, and powerful expression. Music became more complex, filled with energy and emotion. Orchestras expanded, and compositions became layered and detailed. The violin rose as a dominant instrument, capable of expressing deep emotion. The piano emerged, offering control over both soft and powerful sounds. Music became dynamic, unpredictable, and deeply engaging. Concert halls were designed to enhance sound, creating immersive experiences for audiences. Music was no longer just heard, it surrounded you. Then came the classical era, bringing balance and clarity. After the intensity of the Baroque period, music became more structured, more organized, and more refined. Composers focused on simplicity, proportion, and elegance. The piano became central, capable of expressing a wide range of emotions. Orchestras followed clear structures, and music became easier to understand while still being deeply beautiful. It was calm, controlled, and perfectly balanced. But that balance would not last forever. The Romantic era changed everything. Music became emotional, passionate, and deeply personal. Composers broke free from strict rules and began expressing their inner feelings. Love, pain, longing, and hope were poured into every note. Nature became a source of inspiration. Storms, rivers, mountains, all transformed into powerful musical expressions. Music grew louder, softer, faster, slower, full of contrast and intensity. Listeners didn't just hear music anymore. They felt it, sometimes so deeply that it moved them to tears. Then came the modern world, and with it, technology. The invention of recording changed music forever. Sounds could now be captured and replayed. A performance no longer existed for a single moment. It could live on forever. Radio spread music across the world, connecting millions of people through shared sound. New genres began to appear. Jazz brought freedom and improvisation. Rock brought energy and rebellion. Pop brought simplicity and global appeal. Music was evolving faster than ever. Then came the digital revolution. Computers transformed music into something limitless. Sounds could be created, edited, and perfected in ways never imagined before. Electronic music emerged, pushing boundaries even further. Music became personal. With headphones, people could escape into their own world. With smartphones, entire libraries of music became accessible anytime, anywhere. Streaming made music infinite. And now, we stand at the edge of the future. Artificial intelligence is beginning to create music alongside humans. Virtual concerts are becoming real. Digital worlds are changing how we experience sound. Today, anyone can create music. There are no limits,
no boundaries, only creativity. But even with all this change, one thing remains the same. Music is still emotion. It is still connection. It is still human. From the first sound of stone striking stone to the endless possibilities of the digital age, music has been with us through every moment of our journey. It has been our voice when words failed, our comfort in silence, our energy in celebration, our story. And that story is still being written. Because music never ends. It evolves, it grows, and it continues forever.